Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, magnificent, amazing individual. Today, I would like to speak a little about everything your ego, your higher ego, ennobles and transform within you. You take with you after you pass from a death to a new birth. And of course, after birth, thereafter. Everything you are not able to ennoble, transform, and purify will fall away, and you will shed it like a skin in a sense. Of course, this will be far in the future. I will give you an example of exactly that happening. That is a physical reflection of it today on this earth. In earlier times, when everything was spiritual, we were all united, animals, plants, and everything, to a certain groupings. And every physical animal form you see outside, we had within us as human beings. We were a kind of it's hard to explain it, but we were group souls rather than physical or spiritual human beings. Over time, it is reflected in the thrones, the fourfold divine beings of bull, lion, man, and eagle. These four were representations of these group souls. Over time, of course, when we descended further into the physical world, the animal forms within us separated away from us. We shed them. They were our lower instincts and passions that we couldn't take further with us in our development. So the animal forms are beings that couldn't wait in the spiritual world longer and ended up crystallizing in a very specific developmental stage. They are stuck there until the end of this physical. That is their punishment for being too impatient. We human beings have stayed in the spiritual world the longest. Hence why we have perfected our being to as far as possible development in a certain stage, and now that certain stage is descending, falling away, decaying. That part of us that is, you have two parts of yourself. You are the intelligent and the dumb, the warm and the cold, and the kind and the good and the evil. Everything that is ascending in progress towards the spiritual world. Spiritualizing, ennobling, and transforming everything within you as much as possible. The other part that is holding us stuck wants to stay there. They want to hold back. They want to hold back their own effort, development to grow. This we will shed, and over in the future, there will be two races. There will be a good race and an evil race. And the reason for this is every action you do today that is of either a healthy or ill intent will reflect upon your physical body in the far future. So if you have done a whole lot of actions that reflects your devilish, more demonic nature, that will show on your face. You will grow certain appendages and certain marks that will allow you to show what moral deeds you have done in your past lives and how much you have ennobled. Of course, this is obvious from the thinking of it, since this is, of course, you have to require yourself to realize reincarnation. It is important that even though you are in a certain culture right now, doesn't mean that you will be reborn in the same culture. The ancestry has very little to say today because you develop your soul. Your soul and spirit is more than the physical body that is inherited. So by you unfolding, I just love to say these words, ennobling and purifying, transforming your lower animalistic and evil nature, transforming it and shedding what can't be transformed. You develop the future good race, the foundation, the seed. Everyone else that doesn't care about this, that just let it be and take life as just a roller coaster of half-sleep dazes and dreaming stages where they can barely remember anything when they look back at life, will become hindrance more and more. You already see the big picture here, don't you? There are reasons why there are evil today. It is backward spirits that refuse to develop when they should have. This also is a higher picture to it because, in a sense, if we human beings didn't have these backward spirits, we wouldn't be able to develop freedom. Without oppression, we wouldn't know what freedom is. Without evil, we wouldn't know what good is. Without being ungrateful and taking life for granted, complaining and being a spoilsport, we wouldn't know how to be grateful for life. Saying thank you, being able to sit here with you in your body because you have a dignity with you. You do not feel ashamed of yourself because you truly are striving. When you are striving, you have certain leeways. But of course you don't use excuses on excuses on excuses. You see my drift here. There is only so and so much the divine realm actually excuse. Because they see you, they know your thoughts, feelings and will. They know everything about you. So you can't hide, truly, with your actions, your deeds and your feelings and thoughts. That is why it is important for you to become acquainted with yourself alone. Not needing to show yourself that, I am doing this, I am doing that, come look at me, accept me. No. You need to accept yourself. When you do actions that you love, that you, your higher ego, the Christ in you, accepts, you can sit with yourself, you see? But if you are a rascal, if you are a mischievous little rascal, of course you would feel, I feel a little ashamed when you are conscious of yourself. Because you are constantly doing things that thoroughly you feel is not good. So by promising yourself and God and the Christ, Holy Spirit, to do better, and so do better, just even step by step, small stages in the start, it will snowball over time. Believe me, it is a constant seeking in the labyrinth, you know. So, by you ennobling, transforming, purifying, and lift up, spiritualizing your whole being, with your ego, you transform your astral body to manas, your desires, pleasures, and longings, and passions. You transform them to something graceful, something that is focused on the divine and gratitude and so on. And then you transform your etheric body to buddhi, life spirit, you transform your life body into something more pure and something that is much more radiant and vibrant, that shines out. And you more or less, when you feel a human being that has worked upon their life body, etheric body, you kind of, when you sit beside them, you can feel them sitting there. They are that anchored and strong within their life force and body. Then with your ego you transform your physical body to Atman, the spirit man. When you have transformed all of these three, you are a sevenfold man. Of course, you can only in this life transform your inner being, rudiments, the seeds for the future. You cannot perfect it this life, but you are striving towards perfection, striving towards development always. Perfection is always an abstract word. There is only one thing that is perfect, and it is God. And because he is everything and is in a state of becoming and a state of state of come from, are, and becomes. So it is just that is perfect in itself. But striving for perfection is striving towards God, striving towards getting to know, commune, and actually being in a direct relationship to God, personally, alone, individually, intimately. And that is how you also purify yourself. But think about it. If you all of a sudden become aware that you are constantly being watched, and every action, everything you do brings about a result of some kind, wouldn't you take this very seriously? I would. I do. And I wish to do it further. And I wish to show you that there are reasons why we do this. I personally have a very high aversion to stagnation and to staying stuck and decadence and just letting ourselves go. And it is a complete and utter undisciplined way of living, you see. But by being aware in the moment, structured, disciplined, but also loving, kind, caring, not a cold, dry Philistine, but a disciplined, loving, warm, flexible, fluidic, also airy, also physical. We are amazing beings. And the more we get to truly ennobling us, transforming and uplifting, so we can truly become, working towards the ideal spiritual being we are to become. You see, the angels before us went through their human development before us. The archangels before that, and the archai before that. They have gone through their human evolution, but it was different then. We are in a new stage that has a new faculty in a sense. But all the higher beings already have all of these faculties except a physical body. That is the only thing that is differentiating us from them. We have this physical, temporary body. And this is our unique development. Life and death and rebirth. So the more we get to become comfortable in this feeling of discomfort when we contemplate these things, the more you get to grab hold of life truly and wishing to see the world prosper. Hence you share what you find, you share your ideas and your creation, your creative concepts that you have assimilated from outside of the world and gotten to understand within you. It has to be understood. It can't just be read, copied and archived back in your mind. And then when someone says something, you take that sentence forth without truly understanding it. It has to be understood and put into context and put into its right place. It's the same with understanding the cosmos. So when you visualize yourself here embedded in the cosmos, you also visualize the microcosm, us as a small human being, and the macrocosm, our constellations, which first and foremost forms our physical bodies, but also forms many of our thought processes and our inner sensations and, well, cosmic thoughts in many ways, like idealism, rationalism, mathematism, and so on. So we have many different layers and lenses and dimensions. But we are in the end sevenfold. But there are so many numbers in esotericism. You are 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, which is the most important ones. Since we are Trinity, but we are consciously fourfold, working upon these 4 make us 7, and there are 9 to this hierarchy right now. The seraphim, cherubim, thrones, kyriodities, dynamis, exousiae, archai, archangeloi, and angeloi. That's 9. We human beings are the 10th link, and we are We are even going up to the 12th still, see? We have two races that comes after us even. Of course, we can't even think that far ahead. But it is important to have that in the back of our minds. And the more you study and try to contemplate, put concepts and pictures into context and understanding, the more you immerse yourself, feed yourself, sitting here and dabbling with a challenge and dabbling with pictures, and that is how you strengthen your living, strengthen your inner being. It is flexing muscles truly, but you have to do it with your will. You have to choose it. It can't go automatic on autoplay, because then you won't even be aware of it. It's like someone stepped on your toe and you didn't want to think too much about it, and so you try to focus on the music on your ear, but still in the back of your mind you are a little annoyed that you got the toe stepped on. Better being fully conscious and sitting, my toe hurt, and then get done with it, instead of just pretending that we didn't feel anything. Better to see ourselves truly than to want to be something we can't in the moment, when we truly wish to say, darn, that hurt. Of course, that was just a sideshow rant, but yeah, I think this was everything. So the ennobling and transforming is your ego, your sun, shining within you, becoming aware of yourself. And when your sun shines upon, let's say, your desires become nervous, you see? Because when you sit aware with yourself, your ego is much more sublime than you would like to think. Your ego is not some low rascal. It truly is a sublime thing. You need to connect to the cosmic ego. Not your shadowy, pride, arrogant ego that mine. It is I am. And you are also a I am. And he is also a I am. It's the same I. We are just clothed in physical individual bodies. Of course, it is more than just that. But that alone is an inclusive feeling of warmth. A brotherly love in a sense. Sibling love. And I think this was everything now. Thanks everyone. I really enjoyed this video today because I could let a little loose. Have a little fun with the picture of Revelation taken as an example. It is the Apocalypse of John, or Revelation. It has to do with the two races, the two evil races that will come in the future. The ennobling and transforming of lower human passions and transform them to something more sublime and divine, spiritual. Trying to overcome the will impulses of habits and certain things that often chooses to distract us and so on. It is about taking life sincerely and wishing to see as many as possible wake up to this serious and sincere work, but with love and also with patience and gentleness. We can't become in a hurry, we can't be stressed. It has to truly be taken in strides, and because when you do it thoroughly, you truly pervade your whole being with this living. It sticks. It is not you don't drive 200 kilometers an hour and when you see sideways outside the window, you only see blurs. So you don't remember anything when you stop up to remember. No, you are walking in a certain pace so you can absorb everything around you as best as possible so you can learn from it. That is the cool part. And I think this was all. I love you all. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for you being that amazing individual. And thank you for you doing the spiritual work and being guided, listening to your own inner voice and your heart, to your guidance, your thinking, feeling and willing. And truly finding your place there. Everyone has a space to fill. And it is your responsibility to fill yours, no matter what others say. In the end, everyone is afraid to show themselves. And that person you thought looked down on you probably thought you looked down on them. In many ways that is the case. So we are overthinking many of these things. Of course, many of these things might be realities too, like people looking down on automatic and so on. But it is just will impulse that they couldn't control in the moment. So just let them be. Let them take the responsibility for themselves for what they did. You see? They are feeling the pain of it, not us. Thank you. I love you. And I love you. And I love you. And I thank you. I was on the rant. Goodbye.